Thanks everyone for joining today. Maggie and I just wanted to get together with everyone again before we head off to Elite Retreat, just to answer any last questions on Elite Retreat and then kind of strategize and put a game plan together for recapping, dividing breakout sessions, and kind of what the mastermind is going to look like moving forward in 2024. So let's go ahead and just start with like some open forum questions. Like, did everyone see I posted the breakouts in the group today? So the schedule might not be exactly finalized because of course they're probably going to be tweaking it based on rooms and stuff, but the breakout content and the speakers I think is pretty accurate based on what we've kind of seen people posting on their personal pages and stuff, like what they're going to be talking about. It seems to be pretty accurate. So did everybody see that? Do you guys have any questions on that or anything else Elite Retreat?
I actually have a question. Do you know if you have to sign up for these or you just go?
From my experience in the past with conferences that have breakouts, usually they're just in separate rooms and they'll just tell you what room and you just walk into the room that you want to be in. Somebody had posted a question too, like if you wanted to be in two, or if you're in one and maybe the content's not what you expected, is it rude to leave? And I think absolutely not. Like I would just sit like towards the back and then you could pop in and out if that was something that you wanted to do. But I don't think there's going to be a sign up.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't know with these. I like it's so confusing with all like the private masterminds and then the actual, TF approved masterminds, I guess you would call them. So, okay.
Yeah, I think the biggest difference is like the private masterminds are probably going to be held outside of the conference schedule. And then the Tom Ferry ones within the conference schedule, like you can just walk into.
Yeah.
And if this is your first Elite Retreat, like even the private ones, so anytime you're hosting an event or a dinner, I know some of you guys threw together dinners and lunch and breakfast, which is awesome. Anytime you're doing that, like this conference is so crazy and chaotic. I typically have like a 30 to 40% cancellation on any meal that I book. That's part of the reason why this time I did like pay for your ticket in advance, was just to reduce cancellations. I think people get so overstimulated that they end up bailing. So if there's a mastermind you want to go to and it's sold out, I would still like pop by and see if you can get in, because probably half the people that bought tickets didn't show up. And that has been the case with like after parties that we've gone to that are like, no, they're sold out. You can't get into this party. And then you go and it's like, oh no, like half the people didn't show. So if you can't get a ticket to something, like don't think that that means you can't attend, especially if it's like a mastermind or something like that. There's probably going to be space for you if you actually show up. So
Do most people on this call have their like next week pretty much mapped out? No. Yeah, that's what I would say now. Try to get as much, at least I would, actually I love Elite Retreat because it's short. Like I get really overwhelmed with Summit. I'm one of those people, like I'd rather condense everything into 2 days versus be there 4. But I would try to get at least one dinner in, like schedule yourself if you haven't, one dinner and like one lunch or breakfast. That's always like my goal every time I go to these events with new people, ideally. And like I just kind of always keep that, or it can be really chaotic. Some people like to book the whole time, which is really great if you can do that. But if you haven't done anything, try to book at least one dinner for yourself and like one lunch, or like outside of like the TF events. It will help. So
So my motto going into these for booking breakfast and lunch is I try to overbook myself, which probably leads me to be one of the people that cancel or can't make it. But I try to book breakfast, lunch, happy hour, and dinner every day. So that's 4 meetings outside of the Tom Ferry. And then also, like, if you can plan to sit with different people at the event, then that gives you another opportunity to network, because you'll always network with like the people you're sitting next to. So there's 4 meals that you can do in addition to the network. If you get overstimulated or you want to keep something loose, then absolutely, don't feel obligated to book 4. But that is the way I was trained to do conferences and get the most out of them, is to just make sure that my calendar is full with 4 opportunities plus the conference itself. And then in addition to that, I would say, just always keep your ear to the ground for people that don't necessarily have plans, that as you meet them, you can take them with you. Because I think that that is really an awesome way to build relationships and friendships. And maybe there's, somebody there that it's their first time, maybe it's even your first time, but you can always just grab someone and say, hey, I'm going to this lunch. Like, let me see if there's an extra seat, that kind of thing, because keeping in mind, there'll always be cancellations. So if you're going to a lunch that's sold out or a dinner that's sold out, grab the host and say, hey, I met someone that doesn't have any plans. Is it cool if she comes? And then that just helps to kind of facilitate that networking.
I have a question. I feel like when this, like a month ago or something, someone had mentioned that maybe on Sunday there's like a big brunch. So I've been kind of waiting to hear about it. Someone was like, oh, don't miss the brunch on Sunday. But then I haven't heard anything about it. Is that something that someone was putting on, or kind of just like unknown Tom Ferry thing that a bunch of people get together for brunch? Or am I just losing my mind?
You might be thinking about those of us that are going to Epcot. We are going to try and grab food at like a brunch before we go to Epcot. So we have a group chat going on, and I didn't make a reservation because with the number of people, because we'll probably just do it in the hotel. So we were just going to say, like, I was just going to go down and like grab a table and then just post in our group and say, we're grabbing brunch at this restaurant. If you want to come down, we have seats. But I don't know of any other brunch other than that. So it could have been that you heard of. Does
Okay.
anyone else know of a brunch?
Yeah, I think it was separate. Like somebody, I was asking questions about a month ago, and someone was like, yeah, don't miss the brunch. But on lead up to that as well is, do you know if we have to get tickets to go to like Epcot in advance? Or can we get them? Like if I show up and my flight comes in on time and everything and I want to go, can I like then book a ticket then and then head over there? Do you know the story on that?
So I would probably do a little bit more research. I can tell you what I know, but what I do know is that you no longer have to do reservations for Disney starting like January 9th, I think. So I think you might be able to just buy a ticket at the gate. The tickets that they're selling through the Tom Ferry link are discounted. I don't know if you would be able to get that ticket in time. You know what I mean? I mean, mine got mailed to me. So I don't know. I think they are doing that you can pick up at will call. So you could try that link and see if you can, schedule it for that day and pick up at will call. Or you could just like come over to the gate. I can ask at the gate too when we go, and then I can let you know if you want to send me like a DM. I can try to find out that day too.
Okay.
Does anyone else know that frequents the parks?
I have no idea. How many of you guys are going to Epcot?
I am.
Me
Yeah,
too.
I think today's the last day you can get the discount, or it may have been yesterday. Can't remember.
Our
just
group chat right now has 26 people in it that are going, that have told me they're going. There might be other people that have bought tickets and just didn't like tell me and get in the group chat yet, but
I was just there a couple of weeks ago, and I can't say this for sure, but I think I remember seeing people who were like in line to buy tickets that day who didn't already have them. So I do think you could probably find out on their website. I do think if you show up and you don't mind not getting the discounted ticket, you probably could buy it that day.
Oh yeah, I don't think it's a really busy time of the year or day, so it shouldn't be a problem, I would think.
Yeah, you'd probably be fine, but I would check if there's like a will call option. This way, you have a ticket waiting for you. But, and then Karina, you said you're just gonna put a message in that morning in the group about meeting at a certain time before 1 o'clock, right? For brunch.
yeah, I'm thinking like 11, and the places in the hotel won't let you make a big reservation. So I was just gonna like kind of go down and feel it out and then post like, hey, I got seats at this restaurant or whatever.
Okay.
And then if you don't want to go to brunch, but you want to try to carpool with us, then I'll be posting like, hey, we're meeting here to grab Ubers, or, I think the hotel has a shuttle, but probably not for 26 of us. So we'll just kind of use that chat. It's in GroupMe. So if you are planning to go to Epcot and you have a ticket, or you're getting a ticket and you're not in the GroupMe chat, message me and I can add you.
Karina, this is Marine Ware from Seattle. Is it the same GroupMe chat that was created for the 100K?
Nope, it's a separate GroupMe. And it's titled like Ladies of Elite Epcot.
Oh, okay, because I'm going, and that was my question this morning. So, hey, I'm gonna reach out to Karina and see where we're meeting, when we're meeting, for Epcot.
Yeah, if you could send me, well, actually, I'll just add you right now because I have it open. So multitasking. That way I don't forget. Okay, perfect. You are in.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
I don't even think I'm in that one. I'm gonna go in right now.
I added you, Maggie, but I don't think that you have, I don't,
Accepted.
yeah, you don't have like a profile set up. So maybe you need to download the app.
Events. I see spa day, Epcot. Yep. I'm in going. I'm in it.
It's in GroupMe.
Yeah.
So you need the app GroupMe on your phone.
Oh, okay.
And then when you
All right.
download that app, you'll see the chat for Epcot. I couldn't do it through, I was originally going to do it through text, but I can't do it through text because we have too many people and we have Android and Apple people. So it made me use an outside app. So that's why we're doing it there. If you want to know the backstory.
And I received the ticket, and it's just a card. Is it right?
Yeah, that's what they send. Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. All right. And do you know how long it's gonna go Sunday?
I think everyone will kind of do what they feel like. So we're not going until later. So most of us got the tickets for after 1 p.m. So we'll do brunch and then we'll go. And some people might want to stay and shut it down. I know personally, I want to try to do the early check-in for the conference. So it's only like 5 minutes from the hotel. And I have a lot of Disney experience. Like I can Uber out and Uber back pretty quick. So I'm probably going to Uber out, go back to the hotel, check in, and then I'll Uber back if people are still hanging out at the park. So I don't think there's like a set time. I think it just depends on some people can only handle Disney in small doses. They might not stay the whole time. Some people might shut down the park, just up to whatever everybody wants to do.
Oh, okay, good. And there's nothing planned Monday evening, correct? Except from the happy hour.
Right. So there's a happy hour and a lot of coaches are doing dinners. So there's a lot of different dinners and things happening. I didn't plan like a big, huge, thing for Monday. So I would say Monday, if you don't have plans for dinner, then try and book a reservation, try to get people to join you. There's going to be people that don't have plans. So feel free to put together separate dinners. A lot of coaches are doing their dinners on that night, and there's the happy hour event. So we booked our big dinner for Tuesday.
Okay. All right. Makes sense. Thank you.
And I've gotten a lot of questions about the swag. So if you are coming to the dinner on Tuesday, in your ticket, you put your shirt size. I'm bringing shirts for everyone that's coming to dinner on Tuesday, so you will get your shirt there. If you are part of Ladies of Elite and you're doing like this and you're doing the other stuff and you want to get a shirt, I'm going to have extra shirts with me in the morning of the conferences. I didn't bring a ton because I've literally had to pull around suitcases at past events. And so I'm trying to do less, more at the event and less in the conference, but I will have some in the conference every day. So you can just come grab me and give me your size and I'll see if I have a shirt for you. And I'm going to bring them on Monday and Tuesday in the morning. So, and usually I put them out on the tables to save seats. So I'll post in the Facebook group kind of where I'm sitting and so that you can find me and then you can get a shirt then. So limited quantity though.
By the way, I just went through all the steps because Karina, you attached the link for anybody who wants to buy a ticket. It is still $109. It's in if you go to Facebook group and go to events and you'll see Epcot date, the link is in there. You just follow that all the way and there still is an option for will call. So I just went through the whole thing as if I was checking out. So you can do it.
Perfect. Thank you,
you.
Maggie.
I have a question. I'm new to this group, and also it's my first elite retreat. Never made it all these years. Anyway, is it really cold in the room? I mean, everybody's telling me to like bring a winter coat, you know. What do you guys think?
Debbie, where are you from?
I'm from Chicago.
Oh, you'll be
Oh,
fine.
I'll have my winter coat with me anyway, but I hate being uncomfortable in a, at a conference. So everybody was saying like, it gets so cold, don't wear a sleeveless shirt, that kind of stuff. So I was just wondering.
If I can chime in, Debbie, hi, I'm also from Chicago.
Oh,
And
hi.
hi, very nice to meet you.
Same.
I did freeze at the last event. I was extremely uncomfortable. I wished I had a blankie, but I also saw
Oh.
someone posting, there was a really, really cute weather report that someone posted from Orlando, and it's pretty chilly there as well. It starts in the 40s. I don't know if you saw that. So I'm definitely going to have my coat.
Yeah, well, it's 51 here today. So
Yeah, exactly. I'm wearing my coat.
Experience, like I've gone to summits where it's freezing and I had to buy a blanket, like they were selling Tom Ferry merch and they had blankets. I have gone where it's been freezing, and then I've gone to some where it hasn't been that cold. So I think it really just kind of depends on the venue.
Yeah.
Elite Retreat's a smaller room, so it might, that might lead to it not being as cold because we're kind of all, the last Elite Retreat, we didn't have tables, our chairs were connected, we had people like all around us. I don't think I was cold at that one. So it just kind of depends how the room is configured. I would just be prepared for either, dress in layers if you can. And I think you don't necessarily need a winter coat, just maybe like a
No,
blazer.
I was joking about the winter
Yeah,
coat.
but I would say like probably don't wear a dress, like if your legs are going to be exposed. Like I think your legs and your feet are probably what gets the coldest.
Okay, thanks. Just,
Well,
can't
I'm
wait.
from Orlando. Hi, ladies. I'm from Orlando, and I can tell you right now, the mornings are pretty chilly in the 40s, and it'll get up to like low 70s. But sometimes it's colder inside than outside because of the AC. So I would
Yeah.
just, bring, a layer. Something you can, if you're hot, you take it off, and if you're cold, you put it on.
Yeah, Florida's really deceptive this time of the year. People think like, oh,
Yeah.
it's Florida, it's warm, and it's like, yeah, but it's like it's like Vegas. It's like cold at night, cold in the mornings, and warms up during the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's actually warmer in Texas right now than it is in Orlando. I keep looking at the weather. So
Same for me. I'm like, I'm going to be freezing because I'm coming from Phoenix and we're having like high 70s or like almost hitting 80 this week. And
yeah,
everyone's like, oh, I can't wait for the sun. I'm like, it's going to be so cold. Why isn't this conference in Phoenix?
yeah, it's
I have-
80 here today. It's the 80 is going to be the high, and it was the high yesterday. So it's really strange.
Yeah. I think like the universal uniform for the conference is like your sneakers, your jeans, a cute top, and a blazer. And that way you're warm and you've got a layer and you should be good to go. And I mean, I see like most women that have gone to a lot of these, that's kind of what everybody wears. So questions about the conference itself or anything outside of the events that you guys want to touch on before we kind of move on?
So talking about, I guess more of the schedule, like, because we're talking about like scheduled breakfasts and lunches and happy hours and dinners, like what time does it actually start? And like how much is like content with it? And then we break out, and then, I don't know, looking at the breakout sessions, they seem to be in the afternoon. So is the actual retreat part of it kind of 8 or 9 in the morning until noon, and then kind of lunch on your own, and then breakout sessions the rest of the day?
That's a good question.
Idea
Let's
of
go
the
through the
flow.
schedule because they did post it, or they
Where do
emailed it.
post it?
They emailed it back in February, I think. Let me try to pull it up really quick. So there are certain things on the schedule that I feel like are kind of fluff. So wherever it says like ask Tom, you know, that is where people will ask Tom questions and he'll answer them. And they're doing an ask Tom right before lunch on Monday. So in my opinion, you could plan to leave a little bit early if you're grabbing an Uber and going off site. For that lunch, because that's probably something that you can afford to miss. I think it has break. I think I can't pull up the schedule right now. I need to do it on my computer instead of my phone.
I have it. I have it. I
Okay,
can read it
perfect.
out. Okay. So for day one, 8 a.m. is check-in to 9 a.m. So from 8 to 9, it's saying that that's like allotted check-in time. If you can check in beforehand on Sunday, like literally follow, you know, to the check-in desks. So it starts at 9 and it's becoming undeniable. So Tom Ferry will be on at 9 till 10:30. So he'll speak for an hour and a half, and then Pushing the Envelope by Nicole Malachowski, or however, and then 11:45, Tom comes back on, and then 11:45 to 12:15. Well, at 12:15 is Ask Me Anything. So basically at 12:15 to 12:30, Tom's giving 15 minutes of Ask Me Anything. Lunch is at 12:30. So from 9 a.m. till 12:30, 12:15, there will be Tom and two other people doing their presentation. So 12:30 to 2 p.m. is when we have lunch. So he's giving
That's a
you
big time.
Yeah, 1:30. Yeah, like 2.5 hours. I mean, 1.5 hours. And then, so basically it's 9 to 12:30, and then the break, and you come back at 2 to go to those breakout sessions that Karina posted in the group. So there's breakout session, each one lasts an hour. So 2 to 3, 3 to 4, and then 4 to 5. So the day starts back up at 2 and then ends at 5 with you going to different breakout sessions.
And then probably after that is the happy hour. So people will probably just meander directly from the conference to wherever the bar is. And then they'll do happy hour.
Yep, it says 5 o'clock, Tom Ferry in the Tropics, reception at the Coquina Lawn.
Maggie, could you post that schedule in the group when you get a chance? And then I was going to add, so check-in is from 8 to 9. That tells me probably doors open at 8. And because Elite Retreat is smaller, there won't be a lot of great seating. So there probably will be people lined up to get in when doors open to reserve seats. So if you're able to check in the night before and then get down there at 8 a.m., it will ensure that you get a better seat. And that's always like, you know, one person from the group goes and saves seats kind of thing, because not everybody can be down there at 8 a.m. like me.
Yep, I'll post that. And then the next day, obviously there's no check-in and it just starts at 9 again, but it ends at 3. Unless I didn't finish posting everything right.
I think on Tuesday, the breakouts were in the morning. Is that right? And then it ends with speakers.
Actually, yeah. So instead of meeting in the main room on Tuesday, 9 to 10 is session 1, 10 to 11 is session 2, and 11 to 11:45, 12 o'clock is lunch. And then we don't return back until 1:15. And then he has Jason Pantana on, another person on real estate building legacies, and 2:15, the listing attraction playbook by Jimmy Mackin, and then 3, Tom Ferry. He's probably going to go to 5 o'clock. I think I missed out the 4 and the 5 on the last day, but basically it's the reverse.
Can I ask a quick question?
Oh, sure.
I'm sorry. Just a quick question about the breakout sessions. Do you have to sign up for those in advance, or what are your recommendations for making sure that you get into the ones that you want to?
You don't have to sign up. They'll just tell you the location of the room and you just go to that room. And we kind of shared earlier, like if there's multiple ones that you want to go to, maybe sit towards the back. So if the breakout session isn't giving you what you want, you can buzz out and head to another one. I always recommend too, like when we get the actual confirmed schedule, strategize with some people that you're hanging with at the conference and split them up. we will try and do that within this group too, so that when we come back for our first mastermind, we can have like one person share their takeaways from each breakout. So if you weren't able to go, you can at least get the takeaways. So, you know, that will be key in just making sure that you get all the information from each one.
Great. Sorry if I missed that earlier.
No, you're totally good. The other thing I was going to say is that they do provide lunch. I believe they're going to be serving us lunch. So that's another option, is you could just grab lunch there and stay on property and just meet up with people in whatever room they're holding it in. In my experience, the food is very hit or miss. So if you're a foodie, you might want to make reservations off site.
So when you go into the general session, do they generally try to make like all seats good? Or does it really, like, is there a significant difference about getting good seating? Do you know what I'm saying?
It's all good. I mean, you're gonna see, and they have screens. You're
Yeah.
gonna, yeah, you're gonna see. It's just, it's more like people want to sit together, or like if you really want to be up front because you want Tom to touch you, or like, I don't know, you just
Take
like
pictures.
yeah, take pictures. But you're gonna see from no matter where you sit, and you'll hear it for sure.
And I'm really interested to see how they have it configured, because I will be the first one to tell you, like, I was not happy last year when we didn't have tables. You know, we were balancing things on our laps and we had people connected to our chairs, so you had no elbow room. I really hope that they bring back the tables, because at the Elite Retreat before, we all had tables, we had space. So I don't know what it's going to be like in there, but it was very uncomfortable last year.
By the way, Natalie just posted the schedule and it's in the group if you guys want. It's up. So now you have the breakout sessions and the whole general thing.
And then the breakout session times, I mean, that could get moved around. So, but at least you'll know who's speaking and what ones you want to try to go to. You could prioritize them in advance. So I mentioned kind of dividing up the breakout session. So what I think we'll do is, once we have the actual schedule, we'll post it in the group, like at the event, probably Sunday when they start early check-in, we'll get the confirmed schedule. And then if you guys want to post like whatever ones you're going to go to in the comments, then we can kind of make sure that we have people at each one and you guys take notes. And then when we do our next mastermind call, which is going to be the Monday after Elite Retreat, I think it's March 4th, we can kind of take a minute to go through, you know, takeaways from each of those breakout sessions and have some conversation around that so that you won't miss anything is the goal. And then from there, Maggie's going to talk a little bit about like the top things, because she held that survey of what things we really want to tackle in this mastermind group. So she can talk a little bit about how we voted and what things we really wanted to tackle so that we can prioritize those. And then after we finish recapping Elite Retreat, we can kind of use this group more productively to tackle some of the issues and problems that we have in our business and kind of brainstorm together.
Okay. Yeah, so I pulled everything that people put in the comments, and listing presentation came up a couple times, email drip campaigns and CRM management. I put those kind of three together, but CRM management itself came up a lot. So we'll definitely make sure to have that like one of the first couple sessions. Loving your sphere and nurturing your database, that came up twice. Tom Ferry referrals, or just general agent to agent referrals, came up 3 times, and client events, Google My Business, video content, and lead magnets also came up. So I think definitely Tom Ferry referrals is a good one. I think that a lot of people can probably just start speaking off the top of their head, because I know we have a couple people in this group that do really well with them. And then CRM management. Does like what can anyone throw out there like what more specifically with CRM management? Like they would, is it the drip campaigns and like email campaigns to do off of your CRM, things like that?
I would say, like, for me at least, it's automation and like what we're automating, because if they're a past client, I would say automation for past clients. and how you're organizing your CRM. So like your tags, like for example, if I have a past client that's an investor and he has 6 properties and I rent out all of his, we're in a very heavy rental market. So say he has 6 properties and he keeps buying more, he's not really a past client. But is he part of my SOI or is he part of my COI? Like I guess simplifying the tags and how to manage those.
Okay. What CRM do you use?
Follow Up Boss.
Okay. Yeah, I actually work a lot with investors. I mean, yeah, they are their own category, but for that reason, I also just throw them in with regular past clients because not going to, unless I really gear my business, like a chunk of it towards that, I decided like they don't even care about client events. Like whenever I've even done something, like they don't even show up to stuff like that because they
I
really
feel like they're a one-on-one, like bring
they're
your
just
partner.
numbers, guys. Like you bring them a deal, like they'll buy it, right?
Right.
And they don't really care for the gifts. They don't even like care if you're there at closing, right? They just for them as an invest. So I just throw them in with unless in the future you decide to like really up it and do something specific to the way that they think. I just throw them in with sphere of influence and they get like my regular newsletters so I can just stay top of mind
Right.
for them. So
I
this
think
way they
that kind of like rolls into like automation, like drip campaigns, because like you could create, an investor drip campaign or, you know what I mean? So I think that like that kind of just rolls into that personally.
Yeah, I never really thought about doing, well, the thing is I don't have my drips, I don't have any drips automated. I don't use the system to the most that I can. It's not efficiently set up at all. So that's kind of just, I want to start from square one and set it up for success and just start fresh.
Yeah. Yeah, and there are drip campaigns for Follow Up Boss that you can purchase. So we could talk about that a little bit and when we like hit that one. But I think it's really kind of like drip campaigns. And as we go over the different drips and we talk about like a drip for each category, like a drip for past clients, a drip for sphere of influence, then you can kind of relate that to your business and be like, okay, my investors should be on this drip or that drip, like based on what the content is.
That makes sense.
I can add into that too. We use a Follow Up Boss. I have an operations person that handles all the SOPs, but we go to the Follow Up Boss events and FubCon. I sent her to FubCon last year in LA, and they have an amazing network in their Follow Up Boss Facebook group. And so you might be able to find a lot of support specific to Fub in their group as well.
Got it.
Yeah.
And I just, when you belong to all these groups, and I'm not on Facebook too often, so I'm just like, if I'm working on one thing, I'm so overwhelmed, and then I'm on a coffee and contracts thing, and then there's a wire thing, and then there's Erica Wolf, and I'm like, one step at a time. Because it's just, I'm a solo agent, so it's just tough to actually complete each one and do it in full. So, but I should just focus on the Follow Up Boss, and I'm sure they have recorded sessions and everything like that. So that's a good point. Thank you.
I agree with you. I'm a solo agent in 2 different brokerages. And I have to tell you right now, my CRM is kind of a glorified Excel spreadsheet for me, just a place to keep everybody. And I don't really actually utilize it, but I just keep putting people in there. And then I have to get my SOPs in order and then really start to like figure out how to grow that CRM and like how to use it proficiently. So you're not alone. I'm in the same boat you are.
Thank you.
It's one of those things that like my coach, when I got my email marketing together, that's like the first one I said. I was like, all right, I'm just going to create one generic one that is sent out once a month that has my logo, color, branding. There's a lot of companies that you can hire that have pre-made templates that you can just send out, because getting it out is better than not having it. And then you can you know, depending on the company you hire, then you can start customizing it, like to
Right.
something that really starts to speed. You could put in a video every week or every month that you talk, and then break out campaigns from there. But like
Okay.
for my investors, I'm not going to create an entire campaign for them because they like
No, and it's not the majority of my business either.
yeah.
So it's
So
like,
they've just fall
it's
under,
not
I
something
would
to
tag them
focus
as
on.
past, yeah, I would just tag them as past clients just so they remember, like, if they ever need a real estate agent, you're there.
Wow, this is amazing. I never thought to look at Etsy templates for Follow Up Boss, but like, of course, there's a store for it. That's just amazing. Thank you.
You're welcome. That's Key Technologies, and they're the company that you'll hear all the Tom Ferry people talk about, that they'll build out your system for you. But if you wanted to build it yourself and you didn't want that expense, like you can just buy their drips and you can build it yourself.
I would love to have someone build it for me. I actually just spoke to my manager. I'm like, listen, like I'm one person. If you want me on the phone and going on appointments, I can't be stuck in front of the computer doing this. This is not my strong suit.
That's what I'm struggling with right now too, is just trying to be a solo agent doing high volume, but
And
trying
not
to
having an assistant. So it's like you got to get to the volume to have the assistant. And I'm like, I end up losing business because I don't have the extra hands to be taking care of all this stuff that I actually hate doing.
yeah. Was it called Key Technologies?
Mm-hmm.
Like KEY? Okay.
KEE.
I think you guys can hear me. Can you guys hear me? I'm
Yes.
sorry, I'm totally dragging. This is Kelly Kirchheimer. I'm from Chicagoland. I actually did work with Alana to get those. So if you're looking at it, feel free to, shoot me a text or a call, and I'll take you through like the good and the bad. I would say if you're already, in a nutshell, if you're already overwhelmed with, sorry, I don't think I have my camera on either. I'm trying not to crash. If you're already overwhelmed with using it, I would say I did find the dump from her a little overwhelming, and then a lot of it wasn't my tone or style, or like some stuff I was like, I would never send this to anyone.
Well,
So
that's
then,
another thing.
yeah, then I feel a little nervous to give people the triggers, because I'm like, I don't want that person getting that email. That's just weird, right? So I would say don't get too excited. Don't just do Alana's to like check the box if it's not right for you. But I can, she's very transparent though about like what it's going to look like and all of that, I feel like.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, and sometimes for some of that stuff, if I do get a hold of a template email or a drip campaign that doesn't really sound like me, I put it into Chat GPT and just have it to change it to sound more like my voice.
Yeah.
Like guide it through what I want it to do.
So I will say, like, a lot of us are solo agents, and Maggie and I had a really long conversation the other day. Like, that is kind of the struggle that all of us have, is like, you hit a cap of like how much volume you can handle and also be doing all these awesome things in your business. And so what can we outsource and, leverage third parties to implement for us, or what can we share within this group to kind of simplify and make things easier? That is the whole purpose of this mastermind. So, those are the things that, like, as you're working through your day and you're like, oh my gosh, like, how are other agents that are closing 50 deals a year that are solo agents handling X? We want you to bring those things to this conversation, because that's exactly the boat that most of us are in.
So if anybody has one built out already, and the next time we meet, we can make that like the intro like the kind of the topic, like that person can present on exactly, like if they're also willing to let everybody R&D it, like put the file up and show exactly like mine's an 8-week or 12-week campaign, or like this is how I put my monthly newsletter together. This is who I use. The other thing my coach mentioned in doing these masterminds is if people are willing to hire somebody, and then a couple people who need to get this done go in on it together for that person. And then that VA can create it for all of us. And obviously then it would just change out based on logos and colors and all that kind of stuff. So we can also decide that too, if there's some people who want to go in on building one out, and all get together and pay for it, because that would be
a huge help.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
Speaking
I
of
made a note.
colors and all of that, I'm working on a brand, right? So, and I'm in Jill Biggs's market and she's everywhere. She's a billboard like 4 blocks from my house that I purchased. And I've been doing real estate for 10 years here. But she blew up in the last like 4 or 5 years. So her colors are like orange and whatever, but I have a different clientele. So do you have someone that you use, or did you just do it on your own from an Etsy template?
For branding?
A little bit more generic, yeah.
I'm going to call on Christine Cooper to share her branding person. If you guys don't follow Christine, she has the cutest brand.
Wait,
But
is this like the
she went
70s
through,
style?
yes, with the pinks.
I met her last year. Yeah, I was blown away. Christine, where are you?
She hired somebody that went through a whole
You guys are
process
so
with her.
nice.
So,
I
yes,
was blown.
go,
You're the
Christine.
only person whose branding I remember, and I was like, this is totally my vibe. But like, I worked at Free People when I was 21, and I don't wear their clothes anymore, so I can't really like have this be my brand. But
Yeah.
like, I freaking love this.
Yeah, I worked with Amanda Peterson. She's I think she's out of Bellingham, Washington. I used to live out there. She's incredible. I don't know what her volume, I haven't worked with her in a while now, but she helped me kind of like hone it in. And
What
then
is
from
her
there,
name
I've just
again?
done a lot of DIY in Canva.
What's her name?
Amanda Peterson.
Can you share her? Does she have a Instagram that you can share?
Yeah, let me find it.
Oh,
I'll drop it in
great.
the chat.
Awesome. Thank you.
Christine, there was a book too. When we did our mastermind on branding, wasn't there a book?
Yes. I have it right here. It is The Connection Method by Kelsey Curtis.
Hey.
You can get it on Amazon. I think it's like $30. But it literally walks you through creating a brand and like leveraging your own personality and like how to infuse that into your brand so you can just be yourself and like your brand just kind of falls naturally.
That's what my
I can
goal
link
is.
to that
I
as
want
well
it
in the
to like
chat.
be an extension of my whole thing.
Totally.
Thank you.
Does anyone else have a branding like company or professional that they've worked with? All right. It looks like that's the only recommendation we have right now, but that's something that we can also post in the Facebook group too. I would say maybe once the Elite Retreat chatter calms down, because the posts aren't getting a lot of views right now because of all the activity. But that's something we could also throw out there and see if anyone else has a company that they've worked with. Maybe you have a couple different ones to interview and see who you vibe with. Because I feel like brand is such a like personal, like they really have to understand you and have like a good process. You don't want somebody to just throw a logo together for sure.
Yeah. So I think that's actually a really good one to do next week, like in 2 weeks, basically, is to talk a little bit more about the drip campaigns. If any, is anyone have like theirs pretty good and be willing to share it? Like what they've built out.
I think a few people could maybe share like what they have. Like I'll tell you, I use Boomtown. So I'm not using Follow Up Boss right now, although I think I shared in the last call, I'm looking at implementing Follow Up Boss in conjunction with Boomtown. But like I have a like 10 days of pain that when I get an internet lead, I drip on them until I get them to respond, in addition to calling them every day. So every day it's like emailing them something, like trying to get them to respond so I can tell if they're viable or if they're trash. So like I'm happy to share that. I also have a past client one that doesn't go as often, but it's like home anniversary, birth date. You know, I've just kind of set it up to do different things. Like, hey, you've been in your house for 2 years. How's it working out? Like, hey, are you in the market to sell yet? Because now it's been 5 years, like that kind of thing.
And it just goes off from your CRM from that, like from that date. Like it knows it's their anniversary date and it automatically sends it out.
Yeah, I just schedule it to go on their anniversary date. Yeah. So basically, I just do it from closing and I go, okay, so 1 year from now, I want you to send this email, that kind of thing. So you have to trigger it right when you close so that the dates align. If you trigger it 6 months after they close, then it's not going to drip right. So like I have a couple like that. I don't have like a buyer that's in the pipeline for 2 years drip. So like those are the kind of drips that I need. So I feel like everyone might kind of be in a different place with like what kind of drips they need and maybe what they already have. But like I'm happy to share what I have. I don't think I have a format to export it from Boomtown because they're built in the system, if that makes sense. So I don't think it's something that I could like export and put in a file. I could just kind of talk you through it, which is, I don't know that that's even helpful.
Do many people here use Sierra Interactive?
Sounds like Follow Up Boss is what everybody is pretty much using for the most part. So maybe we can build it for Follow Up Boss, but if there's a way to export it, which obviously there is, if she sells them on Etsy, then we could save those in the file. And then if you have a VA, they could just duplicate it in your CRM.
Okay.
Hey, Karina. Karina, this is Paul Bertram. I used to have Boomtown. You could export everything, every workflow, everything that you have out of Boomtown in a CSV file.
Ooh, okay, cool. I'll have to play around with that. I did not know you could do that.
Yeah, I actually exported everything that I had out of Boomtown, and we have everything just sitting for us, waiting for our next CRM. So we took what we originally had and everything from Boomtown, what they offered.
Okay, I'll have to mess with that and see if I can export. And then Boomtown comes with a lot of drips where like, I don't know if all CRMs do that. So I could even export like, I mean, there are probably 100 different drips that I can pick within Boomtown to drip that are already pre-made. They're not going to sound like you, but like, obviously you could always just, like somebody said, chat GPT it and change it up. I don't use most of them, but they're there.
You know, on the drip campaigns, you can also have ChatGPT write a drip campaign for you. So like, especially for like long-term drips, if you wanted, like, it'll write the emails, or you can tell it like however, whatever it might, like whatever things that you might be picking up on from the other buyers, however you want to do it, it'll write everything for you.
So do we want to just like create a file and maybe not in Facebook because the Facebook files gets really unorganized. There's not really a good way to organize them, I don't think, unless maybe I don't know. But do we want to just create a file where people can put their drip campaigns and like label them what they are, and then everyone can just kind of go through them and pull out what's good and what is useful for them?
That would be really helpful. Yeah, can make sure you can label them what they are, because I think the hardest thing for me with drip campaigns is like, why are you sending this one this time? Why does this one go out on week 3 or the 3rd day or whatever? Like, what's the reasoning behind message on this one? So like understanding why yours is built out the way it's built out.
Okay.
I just shared the PDF, or I think it's actually a Word document on our page that I received from Key Technologies. I signed up when I started Follow Up Boss, but I just joined Compass, so now I'm trying to use that CRM instead. But it's like the basics on how to set up your database in there and kind of like what each thing means and like the different groups you can do and how she suggests you set up your database, but it could be used across, I think, all CRMs for the most part.
And I have something really similar for Boomtown, like how to organize your leads, how to classify them, that kind of thing too, that I'm happy to share. If we, I don't know if I'm probably the only old school Boomtown user, but I don't like change, so I'm going to just stick with what I have.
So what I will do, because we're almost kind of mean like 7 minutes till 12, I'm gonna put a post with like the top in order from like what everybody said the topics that they wanted, and then I guess next week we can start with the CRM and people bringing their drip campaigns and like explaining like, hey, this is, I sent this one out for this and it's going to go into this file. If people want it, and then we'll put out others from there. Is everyone okay with me doing the second one as the Tom Ferry referrals?
Well, let's do our first one as Elite Retreat recap on March 4th.
Yeah. Okay.
And then, so then the one after that will be March 13th, and we can do that one as drip campaigns. And then let's wait and see how it goes before we schedule the next one, because we might need two, you know, like sometimes you can't get through it in an hour. And then, but that will get us through our next two, you know, in March. So it'll get us through spring break, basically.
Awesome. And is everybody understand the schedule now? It's always going to be one Monday, one Wednesday. And the times are like 11 to 8 a.m. 11.
I'll just always create a event of like what the next one is, what the topic is, like I've been doing in our masterminds. Like, I don't know if a lot of you have been coming to our masterminds, and we've been doing this for a while, but we were just doing one a month before. So I'll just continue to create an event. The link to, you know, join will be within the event. And I always try to put like the time zone conversion. And then when Arizona goes rogue, I'll kind of separate out Arizona for us Arizona babes that change time zones. So, and when you look at it, I'm always the one scheduling it. So the time it's going to show is always going to be the Arizona time, which makes it even more confusing. Cause like right now we're mountain, then we'll flip to Pacific. So, don't ever pay attention to the time it shows. Always look at the time that I have in the text.
By the way,
that's it.
Yeah. Has anyone started reading the book that we talked about last time, The Full Fee Agent?
No, I ordered it. I got that far and plan on reading it on the airplane.
Okay. It's actually really interesting because the third most thing that people wanted to talk about is the listing presentation. And a big thing that he says basically is that you're like, don't spend too much time on your listing presentation, because anybody who's worth a damn that you're going to be going up against is also probably have a decent listing presentation. And then you're just putting your merits on like that you're like on services that you offer. And he says, and we all know in the world that people can always offer more services for less money. And that's what you don't want to get into, is that like you start offering this, and that, and I only charge this percent. The big topic is you're either the favorite or the fool already going into any situation, and how to become the favorite, like through your marketing and through everything that you do. So you basically don't even have to do listing presentations, because you're already going in as their desired pick. I mean, you may have it just to round things out, but it was very interesting, because while I thought that like I need to make my listing presentation better, I've actually I'm going to pull back from that. I'm going to clean it up and do some things to it, but I'm going to focus more on my drip campaigns. And my big goal for this year is to get my email marketing together. Amy Potterfield does a really good job at teaching this. Like, it basically all the online people, you know, all those gurus, like, you know, the fashionistas and everybody selling all these things on IG, like on Instagram, they're all really good at email marketing, right? So like, and call to action. So then people are calling you and you're building trust. And I'm going to do it through email marketing. There's other ways to do it, but so this way I'm the favored already going in based on what I created email marketing. And so then I don't have to have, you know, like, then my fee isn't questioned as much, like all those, he goes into that whole psychology behind that. Well, the traditional agent just works on like, I just got to get a better listing presentation versus doing the other work beforehand. So I thought it was really kind of it was a really good book in that respect. But okay, well, I guess we'll just see. So Karina, next, the Monday after Elite Retreat, guys, is our next one, our next
March
meeting.
4th.
Yeah.
I'll go ahead and set it up and put it out. And then if you guys, when you get the schedule, I'll post the schedule in the chat, but if you guys will comment on what breakouts you're attending, if you're willing to take notes and share those notes, that would be super helpful. And then we can kind of make sure we have all of them covered, so that when we get back together, we can share, you know, what everyone missed and the breakouts they didn't get to attend.
Perfect. Well, it was great seeing you all. I'm sure I will be at Epcot. So I hope whoever's coming or decides to come, I'd love to say hi to me so then I can actually know you person to name. So
everybody travel safe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to say thank you to you ladies. I'm definitely brand new to the whole Tom Ferry system, brand new to this group and everything else. And I get so many good nuggets from you guys. And thank you for letting me be in. And I can't wait to meet you all at Elite Retreat this weekend and hopefully to get in on Epcot too. And then definitely the dinner.
You too. Bye, Kristen. Bye,
Thank
everyone.
you so much. This was
Bye.
awesome.
You guys.
Looking forward to
DM
meeting
me
you
if
guys in
you're,
person.
if you guys are going to Epcot, DM me so I can put you in the chat.
Perfect.
Bye.
Okay,
Thank
bye.
you. Bye.